Today, I'm experiencing my first ever baseball game. I'm currently in Toronto, and so I decided to go to a Blue Jays game to see what the sport had to offer, and to see if I'd enjoy the experience. I feel like today's going to be a fun one. Let's see how the day pans out. I've always wanted to go to like a North American sport. I've been watching them quite a lot in recent times, especially basketball and American football. Sadly, Toronto doesn't have an American football team, and it's off season anyway. And it does have an NBA team, the Toronto Raptors, but at the time I'm filming this video, so end of May, it's currently playoff season in the NBA, and the Raptors didn't make it, sadly. So I'm doing the next best thing, the Blue Jays. I'll be honest, I don't really know much about baseball. In fact, everything I know about baseball comes from Wii Sports. Absolutely go to the game. North American sports, well, when you go and see it in person, are known for their entertaining factor. So that'll be interesting to see. And yeah, and as a British person, it'd be good to see how it differs from like the sporting environments you get in the UK. Also, bit of a disclaimer before I actually get on the train. I'm not using my mic or my gimbal in this video. I wasn't sure if they'd be loud into the stadium, so I apologise in advance if the footage is a bit shaky or if the audio is a bit terrible. Just made it into downtown Toronto. As you can see, it's very sunny, very warm, so I've had to don the shades. Today, the Toronto Blue Jays are playing the Chicago White Sox, which is a team I've heard of before, which makes me think it might be a bit of a big game. No idea. I actually saw a lot of Blue Jays fans on the train on the way into downtown Toronto, and today is a bank holiday Monday here in Canada, which makes me think the game will be pretty packed, and hopefully I'll bring a good atmosphere. Talking of fans, the tickets for this game were actually quite cheap compared to other major sporting events I've been to, but I'll let you guys know exactly what the price was at the end of this video, so make sure you watch the whole thing. One of the great things about the Rogers Centre is that it's right next to CN Tower, probably the most iconic landmark here in Canada. I mean, look how tall the tower is. In fact, it was the tallest tower in the world at one point. I then walked my way over to the Rogers Centre, the home of the Toronto Blue Jays. I decided I probably should get some merch to fit in as well as act as a memento for the day. The Blue Jays store had a variety of items, including some baseball jerseys. Are jerseys the correct term for these? I don't know, please feel free to correct me in the comments below. As cool as they looked, I really couldn't ever picture myself ever wearing one, especially outside of a game. So I decided to play it safe and get myself this hat, which cost me around 50 Canadian dollars. Right, I'm in the stadium itself. Time to find my section. I'm in section 235. I think I've entered the stadium at the wrong gate. Basically, I have to walk around the whole stadium. Right, I've got myself a foam finger. It was only about £8. I feel like it really completes the fan experience. I'm all merched up for my hat and my foam finger. Do you think I'm ready to watch the game now? I've been walking around for about 10 minutes now, but I finally found my block. 235. Here we are, the first glimpses of the stadium, and it's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. And there we have the iconic CN Tower right in the background. At this point, I was pretty hungry, so I decided to get myself some food before the game. I went with hot dogs, a classic sports food, and something that I felt was impossible to get wrong. However, I actually got myself the mini version, which whilst it tasted great, was nowhere near enough for me. Finally settled into my seat. It's about half an hour left until kickoff. Kickoff? I feel like it's more of a football term. Maybe first pitch? Anyway, it's half an hour until the game starts. But the thing I wanted to really show you guys, look at the seats. They even come with their own containers for drinks. You never get that at football games in the UK. I just want to say I apologise in advance for coming across really stupid or ignorant this video. I don't know much about baseball or even the Blue Jays, but I just don't name one single player on the whole team. I'm just here to have a good time and see what the whole thing is about. I did a bit of research before I picked my seat, and I wanted to get a seat with a view of the iconic CN Tower in the background. I feel like I've made a good choice. The crowd are really getting into music here. This would be so frowned upon in the UK. Why did it take 5 people to water up the pitch? Probably that's a one-man job. I feel like there's a bit too much music going on. I get it, it's part of building an atmosphere. It's too loud, way too loud. Then it was time for the American and Canadian national anthems. I get that North American countries tend to be very patriotic, but I feel like singing the national anthem before every game is a bit of an overkill. I mean, can you imagine if in the UK they sang the national anthem before every single Premier League game? There would be absolute outrage.
36, David Schneider.
After all of that, it was finally time for the game to start.
Baseball's hard. I mean, why do the fielders have gloves on? You don't see it in cricket, and cricket balls are ridiculously hard.
We just had the first score of the game. It's gone to the Chicago White Sox. I think that he scored the first run with someone called De Jong. Just come out to go to the toilet. But yeah, initial thoughts, the game's not too bad. It is a bit slow at time, and I feel like the crowd aren't too actively engaged into it. But that might just be down to stop and start nature of the sport, which is also quite similar to cricket, I guess. Anyway, I'm still starving, so I'm going to try out some of the other foods. There's a pizza kiosk nearby where I'm sitting, so I might have a go with that. By far, it wasn't the greatest pizza I've tried in my life, but for stadium food, it wasn't too bad. And more importantly, it did the job of filling me up.
Left fielder number 23, Andrew Benintendi.
Toronto out 4-1 and the crowd are suddenly a lot more into it. Really not feeling this music. Anytime it's gap and play, the music just gets blasted. Seems like we've got our own little dance performance back over there. Scores are still 4-2 to Blue Jays. We're about just over halfway through the game. I feel like the game's hit a bit of a lull. I feel like everyone's just waiting towards like the last few innings. One thing I am a big fan of is the fact that you get vendors that come directly to seats, like ones in the orange t-shirts and the green t-shirts over there. It's definitely a service that I can get behind. Apart from the size of the bats and the way the pitchers throw the ball, I honestly can't see much difference between baseball and rounders. It seems like the game's going to be a lot shorter than I thought it would be. I thought it would be like 4 or 5 hours long, a bit like a cricket game, but it seems like it's going to only be 2 to 3 hours. Probably a bit less than that.
I feel like North American sports are very stats heavy, and I like to be quite analytical, so actually it does appeal to me a lot, but I have absolutely no idea what any of these stats mean. I'm guessing the number in the middle with the cycle is how many balls they pitched in the innings. Lucy Bones, who is the pitcher for the Warriors, is currently throwing 35 pitches. I feel like that's ridiculous. How are you throwing that much in one day? Surely pitchers must get some kind of arm injuries.
I was shit all day. And now Toronto are leading 5-2. It's 3-5 with 2 innings left on the game. It's starting to get very, very tight. Game is over and the Blue Jays have won 9-3. It's actually quite a good game in the end. I had a fairly good time. Let's get out of the stadium and then I'll give you a bit more of a rundown on how I thought this experience went. I've just come outside the stadium, which you can see just behind me, and I thought this would be a good place to view my experience of the whole day. Major League Baseball. Did I enjoy it? Yes, so. Would I come back here again? Maybe one day, but not anytime soon. It's not exactly a sport that seems that exciting. Before I came here, I had a brief look to see what the overall season looks like, and there's 160 games, which is way too much for me. it sort of means like each game doesn't really carry that much significance, and it's only when you total them up that's when it becomes important. And that's probably shows in like, even though it's a bank holiday today, the stadium wasn't packed out. I mean, there seems to be a decent crowd, about 70%, but like, I don't know, I feel like they could reduce the amount of games to make it more interesting and so that each game has more of a meaning to it. I also felt like the game was a bit slow at times, can't work that engaged. I guess it kind of goes for other similar sports like cricket, and I can sort of see why some people might find cricket boring based on the experience I've just had with baseball. But overall, I did have a good day out. The music was a bit excessive. They would play music in pretty much every single gap in play, sometimes only for even 2 seconds, which I thought was a bit OTT. Now on to the most important thing, the price. How much did I pay for my ticket? I paid 75 Canadian dollars, which equates to about 45 quid, which is very reasonable, especially considering baseball is one of the top 4 most popular sports within the whole of North America. In fact, you can get tickets as low as 20 Canadian dollars, which is 12-13 pounds, which you would never get in any top level sport event in the UK. So from a price point of view, if you want to experience a North American sport, baseball is probably the one to go to. Anyway, it's time to head back home. I've got my hat and my foam finger as a memento. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe, like, and do all that good stuff. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.